Illiteracy is still surprisingly a major problem in the United States. Its main causes are from being in an environment where education is not the main focus in the household or from learning disorders. The numbers for illiteracy are still very surprisingly high, and while that is true, I believe that there is still some steps that could be taken in order to alleviate this problem. So, why is illiteracy still a problem in the United States? According to an article by the Literacy Foundation in 2020, there are three major causes. The biggest reason is dyslexia, which, according to the Mayo Clinic, on an article from July 22nd, 2017, is when somebody has trouble decoding words, which basically means when they read something, they have a hard time deciphering exactly what the sounds mean in their head when they're reading. The next biggest reason is people who were in school who also had uneducated parents, where they go to school and it is very important. The teachers make sure it is important to learn how to read, but when they go home, it is not as important. Another reason is poverty. Poverty is surprisingly, affectious to illiteracy. It's been shown in several studies that you are more likely to be illiterate if you come from an impoverished family. So, what are the numbers? According to the National Center for Education Statistics, there are three levels of illiteracy. The first level is level 2, and those are people that are not affected in their daily lives by problems with illiteracy. They can read clearly, they can write clearly, and they don't have any trouble understanding what words mean. That is about 79% of American adults, which is, to me, surprisingly low. 1 in 5 adults are in level 1 or lower. So level 1 is where you could probably still get by. You could still fill out a job application. You could still, do a job with minimal reading or writing. But people in level 1 literacy are still at a higher risk of becoming unemployed or, not making the same wage as a normal person because of more digitalization where reading is more important. But the really bad one is people that are below level 1. And these are people that can barely comprehend what even letters are. But even as bad as that is, I do believe that there are some steps that could be taken to deal with these problems. The first one is educating elementary teachers on the early signs of things like dyslexia, which the early signs would be, falling behind in early grades. Having trouble communicating and listening is a big one. And also, a lack of understanding of easy words in books that they read, easy grade level books. There could also be a push to educate parents on individual education plans or IEPs. I personally have an IEP and I had one in high school. It helped me tremendously in order to help students with learning disabilities cope with their unfortunate circumstances. There could also be, which I think this would be incredible, and I know they already have a few. I know there's one. I'm from Omaha, and they have programs like this at the Omaha Public Library, but I don't see them advertised enough, where you could go to a judgment-free place as an adult and get tutoring and education on how to read and write through a government subsidized program, like through a library. But as you can see, literacy is still a major problem in the U.S. There are simple, it's not, the causes aren't anything that you would think are, completely out of the blue, but they still manage to elude us. I think the numbers of illiterate adults are staggering. I really think we should be doing better as a country, and we should really fix this problem. But, there is still absolutely hope for these people, especially with the ideas that I mentioned on how we could resolve this issue. But yeah, thank you for listening, and goodbye.